All right, guys, what's going on? And welcome back to another blockchain future. Decentralized finance, one of my favorite topics. I believe it's also some of your guys' favorite topic. Well, I found this infographic on visualcapitalist.com. Link is in the description. That kind of goes over decentralized finance in a visual kind of way. And I thought it would be good to go over it, just kind of get an idea where things are, where things are going to be going. So let's get moving. Decentralized finance, an emerging alternative to the global financial system. The global financial system has created massive wealth, but its centralized nature means the spoils have gone to populations who are properly connected to financial centers of the world. And that's the truth. As inequality continues to rise, how can wealth building tools become more accessible to the rest of the global population? Then it shows some things here like the internet, the rise of the smartphone, digital banking, and the Bitcoin blockchain, and how these things coming together is actually what's going to help make decentralized finance grow. We all know what happened with the internet. It's actually kind of amazing. It says by 2018, an estimated 51.2% of the global population, or 3.9 billion people, were using the internet. For people that are in, first and even second world countries, we think of the internet as normal. Everybody has it. But the truth of the matter is there's still 50% of the world population that does not have the internet. And this is something that was really launched into the mainstream in the mid 90s. Smartphones, I actually believe, are probably more spread out now than even internet access, which is kind of amazing. Also in the 90s, I remember when the internet first went mainstream, and people used to think that doing your banking online was stupid and insecure. Not, what are you doing? You're pretty much retarded if you decided to do your banking online. So, and yes, I use the word retarded. And then obviously we got Bitcoin and blockchain, which is the glue that's going to bring these other three pieces together. Moving on. What is decentralized finance? I obviously have done a couple videos on this. It's one of my favorite topics, as I mentioned. But here we go. Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't just digital currencies. They're the foundational open source networks needed to decentralize economic activity. We all know why that's the truth. And these are the 6 primary features that differentiate the public blockchains from the private networks used by governments and traditional financial institutions. Number 1, permissionless. Number 2, decentralization. Number 3, trustless. Number 4, transparent. Number 5, censorship resistant. And number 6, programmable. These are all very important. I think that this graphic actually lays it out very well. I think the censorship resistant is probably the most important part. I've actually started using crypto in a more transactional way. I know a lot of people just hold it because they want to make money from it, but we really need to use crypto in order to make it more than just a store of value. We need to actually use it to make it something that we can transact with. And being able to send money to and receive money from anybody is actually a very key point. And I think number 5 is probably one of the most important pieces. Obviously, decentralization is important. Being permissionless is important. Trustless is important. Transparent, maybe. I don't know if this is, there are things like Monero. If all the other ones here are actually working correctly, it doesn't necessarily have to be completely transparent, but I can see why it's on here. And then programmable, Ethereum has shown what you can do with the power of programmable money. In the new financial system, users will have access to decentralized apps that use public blockchains to participate in new open global markets. Right, how decentralized financial services might impact the global population. 1, wider global access to financial services. With decentralized finance, anyone with an internet connection and a smartphone could access financial services. There are a variety of barriers that prevent access in the current system. We're all aware of those barriers. Location, vast distances from functional economies and financial service providers. Wealth, these are actually the barriers. Location, vast distances from functioning economies and financial service providers. Wealth, high entry level funds required to access financial services. Status, lack of citizenship, documentation, credentials, etc. So this is what decentralized finance brings that pulls it away from the legacy system. In a decentralized financial system, a top trader at a US financial firm would have the same level of access as a farmer in a remote region of India. Number 2, affordable cross-border payments. Decentralized finance removes costly intermediaries to make remittance services more affordable for a global population. In the current system, it's prohibitively expensive for people to send money across borders. The average global remittance fee is 7%. There's 3%. Through decentralized financial services, remittance fees could be lowered below 3%. In all honesty, they could be lowered to almost nothing if you're transacting in crypto. In a decentralized financial system, a Nigerian migrant in Europe could inexpensively send money directly to his family back home. If they were using Bitcoin, it would cost practically nothing if both sides were using Bitcoin. Number 3, improved privacy and security. In decentralized finance, users have full custody of their wealth and can transact securely without validation from a central party. In the current system, custodial institutions put people's wealth and information at risk if they fail to secure it. In a decentralized financial system, a malicious actor across the world couldn't steal a person's wealth without their private key. 4, censorship-resistant transactions. In decentralized finance, transactions are immutable and blockchains can't be shut off by central institutions. Well, they could always shut off the internet, but I think we'd be in a lot bigger trouble than just blockchains not working. In places with poor governance and authoritarianism, users can divest to the decentralized financial system to protect their wealth. We're already seeing this a bit, and I'm not really saying anything new here, but you'll actually hear of a lot of people hiding money from their spouses using crypto, which is kind of funny. Pulling it out of the legacy system and putting it into crypto to kind of keep funds from their spouse, which to each their own. I'm not against it. Here's an example. For example, Venezuelans are already adopting Bitcoin to protect their wealth from government manipulation and hyperinflation. I'm sure many of you know what's going on in Venezuela with the hyperinflation. I mean, they got so much money that they're making bags out of the bills. They're making all sorts of stuff out of the bills because people have wheelbarrows full of bills because of hyperinflation. And that can actually happen anywhere. That can happen in the US. With decentralized finance, a Venezuelan family can hedge against censorship and systemic chaos by keeping a portion of their wealth out of government control. 5, simple use, plug-and-play apps will allow people to intuitively use decentralized financial services without complexity of the centralized system. And as we move forward with decentralized apps, we will get more and more services like Maker, which is a great platform, and also we'll have more and more censorship-resistant tools that basically don't have the drawbacks that we have right now from censorship that we're seeing on all platforms, including YouTube. Decentralized finance. In decentralized finance, a woman in the Philippines could receive a loan from the US, invest in a business in Colombia, and then pay off her debt and purchase a home, all through interoperable or all-in-one apps. All right. Blue sky scenario. What might the world look like with decentralized finance? Unless governments and central banks suddenly cease to exist, it's difficult to imagine a world where decentralized finance completely replaces their centralized counterparts. But what if they can coexist? They're going to have to coexist. The central parties are going to have to play ball one way or the other. Public blockchains can interact with the traditional financial system to create a new hybrid model. Here we have a graphic showing Tina, Jack, back. Yeah, so I mean, this is already happening. I can just see it moving further. Users could conduct economic activity on public blockchains and exchange their new wealth into a centralized system. Users could hedge against systemic risk by diversifying their wealth holdings in both central and decentralized systems. And many of you are probably already doing this. And if you are, you're ahead of the game. We're still in the early days, and this really does show how early we are. So some concerns must be addressed to make decentralized finance viable. Low adoption, 35 million cryptocurrency identity verifiable users by the end of 2018. So there's only 35 million of crypto knowledgeable people, or people that are aware of this groundbreaking technology that will be the future of everything. And it's very frustrating when you know that this is going to be the future and nobody else can see it. But all you can do is try and educate people that want to listen, and those that don't want to listen, let them be. You can't lead a horse to water. Or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. I think that's the saying. Here's a graphic to show you Visa is at 24,000 transactions per second. You got Bitcoin at 7 and Ethereum at 25. Obviously, they're working on this. Bitcoin has the Lightning Network. Ethereum has both a layer 1 and layer 2 solutions to help with their transactions per second. So it is early days. We have regulation and compliance. And also the volatility. Though the market's been quite stable these last few weeks, which has been kind of crazy. Like the internet with knowledge, decentralized finance could democratize the financial system, but will we allow it? I really don't think we have a choice. I really think that and I heard this from some other people in the industry, and I fully agree with it. I apologize for not being able to state my source with this, but I do see crypto as a system that will gobble up the legacy financial system. If there's a big enough run in crypto, and money just gets dumped into crypto, there will be a tipping point where it's just better off to own the crypto than it is to hold dollars and buy crypto when you need it. It really is something that can gobble up the legacy financial system. And I'm pretty sure that the big banks and the legacy financial institutions are aware of this. But anyway, I really thought that this was a good infographic. I'm a very visual person, so I really like the work that was put into this infographic. Again, the site is visualcapitalist.com. The link for it will be in the description if you want to check it out. I think they actually have a really cool site in regards to money in general. Please like and subscribe if you like the video and if you want to check out more videos. Hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are. Thanks.